if you are not from where I'm from, just understand that nothing good comes from drug use. Absolutely nothing. And Andrew famously said on a podcast earlier, he swears on the grave of our father that he's never taken a steroid, a performance enhancer. He said, well, I mean, we don't take even creatine, protein shakes. I mean, I've probably drank a few in my time, but steroid use is one of the worst drugs of all. And I know you want to touch on steroids for a bit, Andrew. So let's talk.
Well, yeah,
let's talk steroids.
All recreational drugs are not something I've ever advertised or I've ever tried.
We speak against
them. I don't think that it's a conducive way to live a very successful life. I know there's some very rich and famous people who do lots of cocaine. That's fine, but I think they would be more successful and more happy as a whole if they didn't do cocaine. Your body's a very sophisticated chemical factory. And a lot of people I know who do drugs seem to suffer with depression, with mental health issues, with come downs. They may not show that part, but it just seems to be true. So I'm absolutely not anti-drug. I've always been anti-drug. I'm also anti-steroids. Now, this is a difficult one, though, because a lot of guys need TRT earlier than others. We can talk about TRT as a whole and whether it's really a steroid, but I'm anti-steroids for a few reasons. I've never taken them personally, but one of the reasons I'm so anti-steroids is I think it gives a very false expectation to most of the men out there of what strong looks like or what big looks like. I think there's a lot of people out there that feel like they don't have a good physique because they don't take steroids, because they think that these other guys are somehow natural online when they're not. And I think the world would be a better place if we all lived more true to our natural, our nature, as opposed to just literally taking injections and basically cheating. And a lot of people are on steroids. I mean, there's a whole bunch of famous athletes that are now getting caught, and boxers, et cetera, et cetera. I'm very anti them, but I've never needed them. Right. So I understand that also there's people out there who feel like they need the steroids. And then you can go into TRT and how important it is. And I do believe that having your testosterone level checked is very important. I'd argue this. I'd say that if you're a man, the reason I'm so anti-steroid is because I've lived a life which has allowed me to naturally ensure that my body's hormonal balance is exactly where it needs to be. And I've done that through healthy competition and through keeping my mind in a place where I was constantly at war and at battle. And I believe if your mind is at war and you understand that people are out to get you and that you're going to need every single ounce of strength you can get, your body will react to it. So perhaps your testosterone level is dropping because your life was too soft. That might be one way. If your life is truly hard, it's not going to happen. But I'm very, very anti-steroids, and it's definitely a plague of the modern world, steroids. And I say this because a lot of people discuss whether I'm on them or not. And I want to make it very clear to the world I'm not. And if I ever get into a confrontation, decide to fight again, it's going to make sure I'm fighting against someone who's not on steroids. And that's, I've already made my public accusations, and everybody knows who I'm talking about, who's clearly on steroids and they lie and pretend they're not. And I think that's another thing we need to talk about, because we talk about how recreational drugs look fun. We also talk about how steroids look like they're perfect.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people who've taken steroids that's ruined their lives. So I think that it's truthfully for the men out there who are listening to us and we're trying to train and teach. You can find all natural supplements. Obviously, we have our own and others exist. You can find natural supplements out there that can actually genuinely help you, along with a good mindset, along with a competitive environment.
A lot of hard work.
And a lot of hard work. You do not need drugs of any kind to have fun. You do not need drugs of any kind to get stronger.
Yeah, it's very true. And, competitive environments, let's say, even if you're just a group of friends, if you're a group of guys watching and you're 12, 13, 14, maybe you're not ever going to get inside the war room yet, add yourself to a WhatsApp group in between your own group of friends. Say at 8 o'clock, look, we've got school at 9. At 8 o'clock, let's all wake up and do push-ups. And whoever doesn't reply with a video of them doing push-ups, ostracize them. Me and Andrew are exactly like that. We live together, but we live in a healthy, competitive state with one another. If he sees me in the gym and I come down and says, yeah, I've just been training, he's sitting on his laptop doing work. He's like, oh, for fuck's sake, closes his laptop. He has to go train now. Being around other men with a healthy mindset of I need to get strong, I need to get fit is probably one of the most important aspects to keeping your testosterone level up. So, yeah. And also, quit the fucking porn. Quit the porn. Dudes are jerking all their fucking testosterone away, watching these fucking degenerate, disgusting movies on the internet. And then they're taking TRT to try and pump their muscles up. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. It's a plague of modern society.
Yeah, the world's certainly a weird place. But my unmatched perspicacity coupled with sheer indefatigability makes me a feared opponent in any realm of human endeavor. And if you want to understand why I'm saying that, you can go to corporatetape.com. And there is a link in the top right corner that will teach you a little bit about the all-natural way to develop supreme Aikido. And that's the truth. And the truth about it is genuinely, there are so many plagues and scourges on society, but especially with the internet now, you have to be very, very careful with the content you're consuming. And a lot of these fitness influencers, we're talking about fitness, they're cheating anyway. So don't be comparing yourselves to them.
Yeah, and keep in mind, young men, what you're going to do is your body is very, very smart. If you have, let's say, you know what? if you have normal testosterone levels and your muscle growth is very normal and is normal to what humans should look like, but you measure yourself against, the Mr. Olympias and you think, oh, I need to take this stuff. I need to take this stuff to get big. Google what Mr. Olympias look like after they finish their careers in bodybuilding. Because let me tell you something, and this is very basic knowledge. Your body produces its testosterone naturally. The moment you start injecting testosterone naturally into your body, unnaturally into your body, what happens is your body stops making it because your body's like, oh, testosterone, we got loads of this. And the mechanisms within your body that produce your natural testosterone stop. Your penis stops working. Your balls shrivel up. You could grow breasts and tits. It's the exact same scenario when you watch Fight Club and they talk about Bob and what happened. He used to be a big power lifter and then he grew tits because it all fucked up and had to have his testicles cut off. That kind of shit happens in real life. So I think steroids are very, very dangerous and people need to avoid them at all costs. And anybody pushing this unfair image on kids, it's no different, Andrew, to the influencers of the world who are all Photoshop, all filters, all editing their photos to look unnatural, and young girls are watching them thinking, oh my god, I need to look like this. It's no different. You may actually look like that in person, but your penis doesn't work. And the funny thing is about trying to look good and trying to look strong, I guess, to attract women, but in exchange, making your penis not work. If you've ever heard the term a Faustian bargain, Faust, who sells his soul to the devil, it's literally selling your soul to the devil in the worst way. And they say when you make a deal with the devil, there's always unforeseen consequences. So what's the point, guys? What's the point? Yeah, you're big, buff, you got your big chest muscles, you got the veins flowing through your arms, you look good, maybe you feel better about yourself, and then a woman thinks, yeah, he's attractive, I'm going to come to bed with him. What's the fucking point? Stay away from steroids.
Yeah, I agree. Stay away from steroids.